Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So I got into a little road rage today, actually, even though I promised that I would calm down about all that. And the reason I got into the road rage was because I was going down a highway, and this car just comes in and almost sideswipes me. And we make it to the end of the freeway where there's stoplights, and I look at him. I was just about to give him a dislike finger. That's my favorite gesture when I see somebody driving erratically. But I looked, and he's so busy. The driver, he's, I want to say 17, 18 years old. He's just busy texting away. And I lost it, and instead of dislike, I gave him the fuck finger. And he's jamming away. He looks at me, and he wasn't even just texting. He's literally jamming away at something. I don't know what it is that got him that excited, but his music is up. He's texting, and he's gesturing to me something. He doesn't even want to turn his music down to listen to what I was saying to him. He's just gesturing with his fingers. And I just before I moved to Phoenix, I got into an accident. I got rear-ended, and my car was totaled. You guys remember when I was driving a Mitsubishi Lancer. Unfortunately, it was totaled, and which was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I was going to get rid of the car anyway. That kind of simplified everything. But you know what? It was during an already challenging time in my life when I was starting a new job and all that. And I'm not very good with negotiating all this, buying a car, and it doesn't help when I'm buying a car in a desperate situation, right? Rather than just leisurely shopping for a car, right? Those two are very different in terms of your negotiations. It reminded me of 6 years ago when I rear-ended somebody, and I don't know if I totaled that person's car. But later on, when I rear-ended the other driver 6 years earlier, and I came out, we exchanged a few words. This was a middle-aged woman. We exchanged a few words, and she was very nice to me. But then later I discovered she made a claim of $6,000 worth of medical expenses or something like that. And at the time, I couldn't make sense of it. I thought this was somebody who made up some kind of medical condition. But after I got into an accident that was not my fault and discovered all the hassles that go into it, and I felt gypped from the situation, right? Because, I was living in my car, shopping for a car in desperation. I feel gypped, no matter how you cut it, right? It's a huge hassle on my part. And then the insurance company tries to lowball me. And so I'm thinking to myself, 6 years earlier, when I got into the accident that was my fault, the other driver might have rationalized, not that I would condone it, but might have rationalized, this guy caused me enough trouble. I'm going to say I have back pain and take a few weeks off work on the insurance's dime, right? She may have done something like that. Not to say that's exactly what happened, but it might have pushed her to also get checked up anyway, right? Because she felt already hassled enough. You're never going to be completely made whole in a situation like that, right? It's kind of like somebody trying to compensate you for a death in the family. No money can make up for that, right? No money can make up for the hassles of missing whatever life events you missed, right? And then today I was thinking, gee, what kind of text is worth all this trouble, right? $10,000 worth of car damages, missing work, the hassles of negotiating another car. I've gotten, just like anybody else my age, I love texting. But when I thought about all the wonderful texts I've ever gotten in my lifetime, I cannot think of one that was worth that much. Think about it this way. I've had relationships that started with texting. I've gotten job offers in text messages. I've sold things, right? I make bismuth art. I've sold things via text. none of those messages are that urgent that it's worth $10,000 worth of car damages, higher insurance premiums, potentially getting injured or killed. I can't think of a text that's worth it. I really can't. As much as I love texts, right? If I had to pay some amount of money to see those wonderful texts, right? I can't think of one that's even worth $100, let alone $10,000, right? All right, thought I would point that out. I hope there is a special place in hell for people who text and drive, where they're forced to stay up days and days and just texting away, right? And or maybe there'll be a place in hell where they'll be texting away while cars are crashing at them, right? There has to be. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.